In January 1971, Roger and Carolyn Perron moved into an old farmhouse in Harrisville, Rhode Island with their 5 daughters. At first, the family loved the quiet countryside, but within days, they began noticing unusual events. Carolyn Perron said that household objects sometimes disappeared and later turned up in unexpected places. She also reported hearing unexplained knocking sounds and doors opening or closing without anyone touching them. As the weeks passed, the family claimed the strange activity became more frequent. Some of the daughters said they saw shadowy figures in hallways or standing silently in empty rooms. Others reported hearing whispers when no one else was nearby. According to the family, they occasionally woke up to strange noises in the middle of the night. They said the atmosphere inside the farmhouse often felt unsettling, especially after dark. Over time, Carolyn researched the property's history and learned that many families had lived there over the centuries. This led her to wonder whether the house's past was connected to the experiences they reported. Seeking help, the Perrons contacted well-known paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren. The Warrens visited the farmhouse and investigated the family's claims. According to the Perrons, some of the frightening events continued even after the investigation. However, there is no scientific evidence that the farmhouse was haunted, and many people remain skeptical of the paranormal claims. The Perron family continued living in the house for several years, before eventually moving away. Their story later became the inspiration for the 2013 horror film The Conjuring, introducing the case to millions of viewers around the world. Today, the Perron Farmhouse remains one of the most famous locations associated with paranormal reports. Whether the family's experiences were caused by supernatural forces, natural explanations, or something else entirely remains a matter of debate. In August 1977, a family living in Enfield, North London, England, reported a series of frightening events that would become one of the world's most famous paranormal cases. The home belonged to Peggy Hodgson, a single mother raising 4 children. One night, the children told their mother that their beds were shaking. At first, Peggy thought they were imagining things, but soon she said she heard loud knocking sounds coming from the walls. The family searched the house but found nothing that could explain the noises. Over the following weeks, the strange events reportedly became more intense. Family members claimed that chairs slid across the floor on their own. Toys and other small objects were said to move without anyone touching them. Neighbors also reported hearing unusual knocking sounds and came to help. Some witnesses told police they had seen a chair move by itself. The case attracted journalists and paranormal investigators from across Britain. They spent months interviewing the family and observing the house. One of the most talked about claims involved Janet Hodgson, one of the daughters. Witnesses said she sometimes appeared to lift off her bed or into the air for brief moments. Photographs taken during the investigation fueled public debate, though critics argued they simply showed Janet jumping. The reported disturbances continued for more than a year before gradually stopping. Even today, people disagree about what really happened. Some investigators believed they witnessed events that could not be explained. Others concluded that at least some incidents were staged by the children. Despite decades of investigation, no scientific evidence has confirmed that supernatural forces were responsible. The Enfield Poltergeist remains one of the most famous and controversial paranormal cases in history, and inspired the 2016 horror film The Conjuring 2. In December 1975, George and Kathy Lutz moved into a large house in Amityville, New York, along with their 3 children. The family knew the house had a tragic history. Just 1 year earlier, 6 members of the DeFeo family had been murdered there. Despite its past, the Lutz family hoped they could begin a new life. But only days after moving in, they claimed strange things began to happen. George Lutz said he woke up every night at around 3:15 a.m., the same time connected to the previous murders. He also claimed the house felt unusually cold, even when the heating was working. The family reported hearing loud banging noises echoing through the walls and doors. Sometimes they said they heard footsteps upstairs, even though everyone was together downstairs. Kathy Lutz claimed she experienced unsettling dreams and said she sometimes felt as if someone invisible was watching the family. The children also reported strange experiences. They said windows and doors sometimes opened on their own, and unexplained sounds came from empty rooms. After only 28 days, the Lutz family suddenly left the house, leaving many of their belongings behind. They later said they were too frightened to stay any longer. Their story quickly spread around the world. Books were written about the events, and several horror movies were inspired by the case. However, the story has remained highly controversial. Some investigators believe the family genuinely experienced something unusual. Others argued that the paranormal claims were exaggerated or invented. Over the years, many details have been challenged, and no scientific evidence has confirmed that the house was haunted. Today, the Amityville case is still one of the most famous paranormal stories ever told. Whether it was a true haunting, a misunderstanding, or something else entirely, the mystery continues to attract millions of people. In the quiet English village of Borley, a large Victorian house stood beside a church. It was known as Borley Rectory, and over the years it earned the nickname England's Most Haunted House. The story began in 1862, when the rectory was built for Reverend Henry Bull and his family. Soon after moving in, family members and visitors claimed they heard mysterious footsteps echoing through empty hallways. Doors were said to open and close by themselves, and unexplained bells reportedly rang even when no one was near them. One of the most famous stories involved the ghost of a nun. According to local legend, villagers occasionally saw a shadowy figure dressed in black walking silently near the garden at sunset. The figure would disappear before anyone could get close. Although many people claimed to have seen it, no one could ever prove what they had witnessed. As the years passed, new families moved into the rectory. Some reported hearing strange voices late at night. Others claimed objects changed position without explanation. In 1929, the house gained worldwide attention when paranormal investigator Harry Price visited the property. During his investigation, witnesses reported unexplained knocking sounds and objects that appeared to move on their own. The strange reports continued for years. Then, in 1939, disaster struck when a fire severely damaged the rectory. The building became unsafe and was later demolished. Even after the house was gone, the legend lived on. Visitors to the area continued to report unusual experiences near the site, keeping the mystery alive. In the early 1800s, the Bell family lived on a quiet farm near Adams, Tennessee. Their peaceful life changed when they began experiencing strange and frightening events. It started with unusual noises outside the house. John Bell, the head of the family, reported seeing a strange animal in his fields. When he tried to approach it, the creature disappeared without a trace. Soon afterward, the family heard knocking sounds on the walls at night. They also heard scratching noises that seemed to come from inside the house. No matter how carefully they searched, they could never find the source. The family's youngest daughter, Betsy Bell, claimed that something invisible pulled at her blankets while she slept. She also said she felt unseen hands touching her hair and clothing. Other family members reported hearing whispers when no one else was around. As the months passed, visitors came to the Bell home to witness the strange events for themselves. Some claimed they heard a mysterious voice speaking inside the house. According to local stories, the voice knew personal information about people that it could not have learned naturally. News of the haunting spread across Tennessee. Over time, the mysterious presence became known as the Bell Witch. The story became so famous that it attracted visitors from across the region. One legend even claims that future U.S. President Andrew Jackson visited the Bell farm and witnessed unexplained events. Historians debate whether that visit actually happened. Eventually, the reported disturbances stopped, but the legend never disappeared. Today, more than 200 years later, the Bell Witch remains one of the most famous ghost stories in American history. Some believe the family experienced a genuine paranormal haunting, while others think the events can be explained by folklore, misunderstandings, or exaggeration. No scientific evidence has confirmed that supernatural forces were involved, but the Bell Witch legend continues to fascinate people around the world. If you enjoyed this video and want more real-life paranormal mysteries, haunted places, and unexplained true stories, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss our next mystery. Thanks for watching, and remember, sometimes the scariest stories are the ones that remain unexplained.